Yo, we got Billboard breakdown. How 100 July 5th, 2025. Outside bodies, Papasito, your idol, and Golden. Let's go.
Hey there, I'm Mark, in affiliation with Spectrum Pulse, and it's a busy week. We got Cardi B, Karol G, Benson Boone, and K-pop Demon Hunters, and it's Billboard Breakdown.
Hey, I watched the movie, W movie, bro. Honestly, a pretty good movie.
Yeah, this week is both more and less busy than you might expect. On the one hand, I predicted some album impact for Benson Boone and Karol G, and well, we kinda got some of both, but less than I thought we would. On the flip side, while it seems like most of the Hot 100 isn't moving much at all, there were more debuts than you might expect, and from some very unlikely cases. Again, the big overriding question will be sustainability, but it at least makes this week kind of interesting, albeit long. Well, outside of our top 10, where for another predictable week, Ordinary by Alex Warren is squatting at the number 1, and the margin is pretty robust. It's strong in every category and dominant and still gaining on the radio. That edge is enough is going to hold over competition pretty comfortably. Yes, What I Want by Morgan Wallen and Tate McRae has more streaming up to number 2.
You know what I've thought about? Like, I feel like all these Morgan Wallen songs, like, are just so forgettable. You know, like at least like songs off of like what was that fucking Dangerous, the double album or whatever, like, and fucking what was the other One Thing at a Time, like there was some memorable songs on those albums, but like with this one, like I just forget it exists all the time. Like every time like I look at the charts, it's like, oh yeah, Morgan Wallen has like 500 billion songs on here for some reason. I always forget. It's just so forgettable.
Pop country crossover, the radio is moving really slow on it, and the sales aren't exactly good. Compare this to Man-Child by Sabrina Carpenter at number 3, where she did see some streaming and sales losses, but not entirely significant when she's got the streaming margin kind of under control and a real radio push behind her. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a real attempt to get this back to number 1. Then we got 2 Morgan Wallen songs, albeit for slightly different reasons. Just in Case at number 4 with the real radio push and holding its own on streaming, where I'm the Problem at number 5 is stable on streaming but is slowly getting rotated out of Nashville radio. This looks to be a case where Wallen's oversaturation is preventing obvious hits that he has from doing more. Yeah. I can imagine the radio might not rush to get a song up rotation if he's already got 4 more in circulation, and radio's slow to get rid of songs as it is. Now this did knock back Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA to number 6. Very much on its way out, but the radio inertia ensures it's going to take its sweet time.
Sorry, guys,
and that leads us to a block of 3 songs from last year
teeth are still like sore after getting my wisdom teeth out, bro.
Didn't move at
all. Like, it actually sucks so much
balls. The bar song Tipsy by Shabuzi at number 7, where the radio is dumping it, but streams are remarkably stable. And that's also true for Lose Control by Teddy Swift.
Can we just say, these people are botting at this point, bro. Like, I'm sorry, but like, who the fuck is listening to a bar song today? Like, who is listening to this? I don't believe there's millions of people every single day listening to this song. Still
remarkably stable.
And Lose Control.
True for Lose Control by Teddy Swims at number 8, and Beautiful Things by Benson Boone at number 9.
Get rid of streaming for these songs like they're out, bro. Oh my god, please.
Pretty much the exact same.
Who the fuck is still streaming this? Like, this is why, like, these songs are getting bought at this point. Like, no one's listening. I'm sorry. No one's listening to this shit. Like, just stop, please, bro.
Reason. The whole top 10 is vulnerable. Record labels. God. Have some courage and make a goddamn move here. Let's make the summer interesting. And you know, it seems like Atlantic at least tried to do just that, because we actually have a new debut at number 10, Outside by Cardi B. Apparently the album is actually coming this year in September, and while it didn't really impact streaming probably the way Cardi wanted, the sales are great and the radio push has started. If they want to pull out all the stops to actually ensure this sophomore album works 4 years or so after it should have dropped, this would be the way to do it. We'll have to see.
It's so funny saying sophomore album when like Her first album came out so long ago.
Into our losers and dropouts. And while in their latter group it was largely new songs not catching on, exactly as I sadly predicted, we did have two notable exits with Abracadabra by Lady Gaga and Squabble Up by Kendrick Lamar. Both easily have their year-end list spots for 2025, no complaints there, even if I wouldn't say either were my favorites from the respective albums. Now this takes us to our losers, and speaking of new arrivals from last week falling off, Killin' It Girl by J-Hope and Glorilla utterly collapsed down at 90. And in games falling back sharply, we got two from Lil Tecca with Dark Thoughts at 48 and Ooh Ooh at 61. Hard Fought Hallelujah by Brandon Lake falling back to 63. And Backseat Driver by Kane Brown down big at 88. Outside those, I am going to call it good news that Touch Me Like a Gangsta by Jesse Murph has utterly flopped down at 87, and Kiss Me in Front of You by Morgan Wallen hit 100. But what's kind of concerning me is Sapphire by Ed Sheeran down at 99. That album push is not working.
Hey, don't worry. He got that India clout now.
I think
he doesn't need us anymore. He's good.
A little concerning. Now for our returns,
you got the India clout.
And, wow, we have very few of them here, especially as we're not exactly in album bomb territory for anyone this week. But alongside Morgan Wallen dragging back Don't We to 97, we did see a return for Karol G with Latina Forever at 66, and we only got one gain this week. Twilight Zone by Ariana Grande up to 71, because apparently someone finally told Republic that Ariana Grande should have a radio hit in circulation, so they started pushing this. Go figure, do the obvious. But what this means is that we got a lot of new arrivals, and they're really all over the damn place. So, okay, let's get this started with number 96, Verano Rosa by Karol G and Fi. Have to be honest, I remember when
I'd personally never go out of my way to listen to this. I mean, it's not terrible, but you know.
Karol G got
not for me
album bombs that kind of caught me off guard, so now I can taste the bitter irony that when I was looking forward to one from her, well, we only got two new songs, one being a collab with Fide, and it's not exactly bad for it. The ghostly, wheedling synths and the vocals around a relatively stock reggaeton knock that's at least more up-tempo, and I like the occasional touches of multi-tracking that adds a little bit of actual harmony to the vocals that honestly sound a bit more compressed and auto-tuned than they probably should be. And for a hookup jam, well, they actually have halfway decent chemistry, and I like the low-key celebratory vibe as they try to arrange this sexual encounter at a hotel. Although I go back and forth about how Fide offers to have Duracell batteries for her vibrator. I mean, it's good to be considerate about how penetration isn't a guarantee that she's gonna get off, but one's tongue can be just as effective as a toy if you know.
Mark, you've been freaky lately. I'm not gonna lie, bro. First off, with the Sabrina Carpenter stuff, and now you talk about vibrators and licking, and like, Mark, you, there's something you need to tell us. Like, it's like I don't really understand what's with the freaky stuff recently. You know, no one's mad at you. We're just kind of curious. You know. Like, what's happening?
What you're doing, if you catch my drift. Well, in any case, this is generally fine. It's not especially distinctive, but I think the hook is good. It sticks the landing. I guess I'll take it. Check it out.
Did
Number
we need
94,
that explanation?
Gabriella by Cat's Eye.
By the way, I'm fully sold on Gnarly now. Gnarly clears this. Sorry. I'm sold on Gnarly, guys. Shit is fire as fuck.
Gnarly was a pretty terrible song.
Nope.
And honestly, I thought that would be enough to keep folks from recognizing and keeping Cat's Eye from charting more, but apparently we're not so lucky, because after the remix with Ice Spice recharted the song, we got this, and it's a wonky Latin pop trap reggae recreation of Dolly Parton's Jolene formula. I know Cat's Eye sits in a weird place with regards to the K-pop idol scene, wanting to evoke the stan hype and the idol vibe without any of South Korea Koreans' cultural trappings, but this is just swapping that for a different set of culture that feels just as awkward. When you discover that Charlie XCX originally wrote this song for Rita Ora,
Really?
I mean, it's still jarring, but it's not surprising. And it shouldn't be surprising that this fails for, well, a very similar reason as to why Beyonce's Jolene cover didn't work. The power dynamic is completely thrown because I don't buy the desperation coming from this group in order to keep, well, I guess, their man so much as catty melodrama. And while the girls aren't bad singers, the production and composition remind me way too much of a bad Fifth Harmony song that tried to trade on Camila Cabello's Latin roots. The leaden bass line, the awkward synchronization between the breathiest of vocals with the Spanish guitar, any of the trap elements. I mean, what is good enough of a producer to submerge all this in a washed out texture that creates some vestige of atmosphere? But it can't get around how it's trying to be way more cool and laid back than it actually is. The emptiness of the central performance is really hard to ignore for me. It's not as immediately bad as Gnarly, but it's still mediocre to outright bad. I would skip.
Gnarly's fire as fuck.
Number 82, This Heart. So here's the power of Nashville radio.
Damn,
this is nearly the top 10 of all genre on the radio charts. According to some metrics, it's already there, and it's only now charting on the Hot 100. Everything else around it has been a hit for months. And I only recognize the name Corey Kent because he charted once in 2022 with a thoroughly forgettable song, and this, which first came out in January of 2024, yeah, it might actually be worse, if only because the cymbal percussion is fizzy mush amidst a mix that Jason Aldean would have rejected over 10 years ago. I remember being unimpressed with Corey Kent as a performer that many years ago, and this is just as limp.
It's
he didn't
just
write
another
this Heartbreak Ode, and when he's mixed a little bit quieter than he should be, it's hard for me to care about some...
Like, you broke my heart or whatever. You know, we were fighting... And then, like, there's also Energy, and it's also a country song, and
pretty underpowered delivery from him.
I've heard the same
lyrics.
song,
if
like,
your
I
entire
think
song is about your
500 times.
So bad that it's not even about the girl that's the problem anymore. You need some actual vocal intensity, and I'm not remotely convinced that Ken has it. The most I'll give this is that there's actually a little bit more of a bass line and guitar solo than you might expect, but yeah, talk about forgettable. Skip it. Number 81, Golden by Huntrix, EJ, Audrey Nuna, and Ray Amy.
This one's okay. I personally, I'm taking, these are my favorite two, okay? Free and What It Sounds Like, fucking bangers. Fucking bangers. Those should have been the hits. But no, your idol. I'm sorry, guys. I'm spoiling it for you. Your idol's not good. I don't like that song. Sorry. Nope. It's not good. It's not terrible. It's honestly pretty mid. Like, it's probably the worst song, actually. No. I think How It's Done. All right, here. Let me give you a ranking. Okay, ready? So you got How It's Done. Okay. Then you got Your Idol. Then, Takedown, okay. Then you got Soda Pop, Golden, Free, and What It Sounds Like. There you go. That's your ranking. That's the objective K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack ranking.
I've known for about a week or so now that the Netflix film K-pop Demon Hunters has been making waves, especially in music. Basically a fusion of competitive K-pop idol groups of the girl group Huntrix trying to beat the Saya Boys, the latter of whom are demons in disguise. I've not seen the movie. The plot seems straightforward enough from some of the summaries, with this being a decisive moment where the girl group performs this song at the Idol Awards before there's some sort of double cross. Now, the majority of the vocals here are actually provided from EJ, who is a songwriter behind a number of pretty big idol groups in South Korea, with the other two singers really only contributing some harmonies, mostly on the first verse, around the wispy, stuttering melodies and the pulsing synth pop beat. And look, I think her huskier timbre is nice, but the over-singing really started grating by the second hook. And while I hear some obvious lyrical reference points and coming together as a team referencing their own struggles, you would think they'd each have more of a voice driving the song instead of just supporting one lead.
True.
Even if it...
I'm kind of mad because like I did see like this on TikTok. Rumi, what was it? And Rumi and Jinwoo, bro, it was basically their song. Like, it wasn't even fucking Huntrix or Soulja Boy songs. It was basically their song. Like, like the other girls and the other guys, they would have like maybe like 10, 20 seconds in the song, and then the rest would just go to them.
Kind of makes sense as part of the narrative. As it is, it just sounds like a pretty stock K-pop empowerment song with some really dicey compression and filters around the backing vocals, make them sound more synthetic. I mean, I don't think it's terrible, but not something I'm gonna revisit. For all the hype that this movie is getting, I don't think this song is a great selling point. That's all. Number 80,
True.
Bottle Rockets by Scotty McCreery and Hootie and the Blowfish.
I mean, it's not terrible.
The smile on her face.
Golden is good, but it's not the best. It's not free or what it sounds like.
When she make me break.
I kind of like this one.
I'll be honest,
Something
what surprised
country
me
that I
most with
finally
this is that
like
it was
and I'm okay
credited
with,
to
I
Hootie
guess.
and the Blowfish and not Darius Rucker, at least on the surface. I know there's been a modest Hootie revival and some critical reconsideration, which I think is half deserved, but I didn't expect this was going to have much of the supremely middle-of-the-road rock elements that gave Hootie some initial charm. But then I realized this was interpolating Hold My Hand for a big punch-up on the hook as Scotty McCreery hops on the trend late as he describes playing that song to his girl on a summer day, but with Hootie actually here playing the most recognizable notes of that song. So why am I not just listening to Hold My Hand instead of this underwhelming milquetoast country song that's grafted around it, with only Scotty McCreery's stronger performance?
I've heard of
making up for
Hootie
some
and the
pain.
Blowfish. I don't think would I know any of their songs. I don't know. I've heard of them, but I'm not really familiar.
Sloppy drum mixing and some very basic summer memories. You cut feel-good summer song over a decade ago in 2013, ripping into lazy material like this. Why are you doing this, McCreery? And as someone who will stand up more for this guy and who will argue that he's got several great songs, no, I'm not mincing words. This is a hack job if there ever was one. Listen to Hold My Hand, skip this. Number 77, Your Idol by Saya Boys, Andrew Choi, Neckwave, Danny Chung, Kevin Wu, and Samuel Lee. And now for the other side of our K-pop Demon Hunters divide, the boy band / demons. And I kind of hate to echo the consistent consensus that the boy band songs are better, because I still don't think this is exceptional. The gothic pop trap vibes that the
boy band songs
support
are
the
definitely
R&B
not
crooning,
better.
it's on the cusp of being
Definitely
deeply ridiculous on a Sam Smith's Unholy vibe, basically saved by more of an actual groove and some real momentum that, like Unholy, also feels a little bit short to land all of the attempts at bombast. But I actually do appreciate the song is directly playing into the rapturous worship of K-pop idol culture for more of a darker purpose. It feels a little bit more realistic. The egotism makes sense with the malevolence that's just beneath the surface, especially as many of its flexes aren't that far removed from what you would hear on your average try-hard K-pop trap fusion trying to be edgy. They're definitely trying to have their cake and eat it in the commentary. That's more subtext, but I do appreciate it. But also in execution, I think it's just better. The organ could afford to be a little bit louder, but the vocal mixing is much sharper alongside the razor-sharp percussion and stronger harmonies. Even if it wasn't attached to a Netflix animated show I haven't seen, I'd still call this pretty good.
Mark, just watch the damn
surprise
movie.
anyone.
God
I
damn
think
it.
it's worth hearing. Number 74,
Just watch the
Papasito
movie.
by Carol G.
No, I don't think you would like it though.
And now we got the other Carol G song.
This is
where I
alright.
was immediately struck by
I don't
how
know.
much
Carol
of the track
G,
was
like
in
Carol G, she's just not for me. You know, like she's never made a song I hated. She never made a song I love. She's kind of, you know.
English alongside Ovi on the drums producing, and honestly I like this a little bit more, with more of a merengue feel to his textured groove and jaunty bass line alongside the guitar that's a bit buried, and the sense that well, honestly sound a little closer to a Casio preset, in the watery tones outside of the occasional twinkling chimes that feel very 90s. It's certainly a groove that feels a bit more adventurous and appealing for Karol G, where of course she's gonna nail that balance between sounding love-struck, but also firmly in command when she switches back to Spanish on the second verse. It's kind of a nice touch if she wants to play nice for the American English language audience, while leaving her edge in plain sight in Spanish if you can actually parse it. Again, I'm not sure I love it. The guitars could afford to be a bit warmer, maybe a little more prominent in the mix, but if this becomes a hit from Karol G's newest album, I wouldn't complain. Good song. Number 73, Mr. Electric Blue by Benson Boone.
I don't hate Benson Boone as much as other people, so he's never been okay. Beautiful Things is kind of terrible, but like everything else, it hasn't been Beautiful Things level, you know. Like everything else he's released hasn't been too terrible. Like this song is okay. I would never play this ever. Would never call it good. It's just so you know. It's
So this is an interesting case. I've already reviewed Benson Boone at length and did mention this song specifically as one of the better songs on the album, but man, if there's a case where the music video is trying to absolutely test my patience,
oh yeah, the
kill
music
any
video is
small
terrible.
affection I have, it's this one. Trying to get in ironically on the backlash to blunt the impact is certainly a choice, but it's not a sense of irony that translates well to the actual music, especially when this song is all about revering a very old school masculine figure unironically, which Benson Boone is revealed to be about his dad. And okay, you know what? That kind of makes sense. Loving his parents is a running subplot of the album, but I can't be the only one cocking my head at that last pre-chorus where said father figure threatened violence if Benson Boone ever talks smack. I mean, what era are we even operating in here? And that's kind of a shame because otherwise it's a slice of pure 80s cheese with a guitar smolder and jaunty keys, and it's actually competently produced. Could afford a thicker bass line, and the more Benson Boone leaps into his falsetto, the less I'm fond of him, but it's got energy. And if all this is about trying and not quite succeeding to live up to the past, it is credible metatext of how I'd rather listen to better 80s pop. Not bad for it, even again, if the music video is goddamn obnoxious, might only lead to more questions than a shelf life down the line. Right now, I'm just grateful that this is all we wound up getting. I'll take it. Number 72, Bodies by Offset and Jid.
If you want smoke, then we cook niggas up like an omelet.
Song is actually pretty fire.
I'm just being honest. Throw me a 60
Jid verse
go to magical
hard.
I'm just being honest. I keep a stick or a blicky in case it gets sticky.
That shit was too good.
So
I
the
can't
buzz I
lie.
heard online with this song is that Jid simply went off on his verse. A little odd to do that on an Offset song tied to an album rollout that seems as shaky as his ex-wife's, but I would certainly take this over some of Jid's other crossover attempts. He showed up both on a Katy Perry and Eminem album last year. Yikes. But against a sample from goddamn Drowning Pool, if you're looking for the song to sound this ominous alongside the oily keys and the crisp trap percussion, that would be the way to do it. It honestly reminds me a little bit of that collab album Without Warning with 21 Savage and Metro Boomin from years ago. Offset drops into his usual gunplay flexes where his dead-eyed delivery against the heavier bass has some startling menace. Whenever that gospel sample comes in, I swear the beat is mic'd in a way that makes it sound like something is just outside your headphones. It's legit kind of uncanny. But yeah, it's true. Jid just runs away with it. Again, I wouldn't even say his content's going above and beyond here. It's just murderous efficiency. But the way he bends across flows is legit impressive. He's an easy feature killer, no pun intended, which only has me more excited for when he's got more to say. So yeah, for what this is, I would call it close to great. Can we give it some motion? Maybe have it last a week? Let's see. Number 30, 6 Months Later by Megan Maroney.
Couldn't care more, I couldn't care less. 6 months later.
I remember seeing some buzz about how well this song was doing on streaming and honestly being a bit surprised. I like that Megan Maroney has real mainstream traction, but a premium Spotify debut for an artist working well within the confines of Nashville and Music Row, that did surprise me. And thus it's a little awkward for me to say that I didn't really care for this. And make no mistake, I'm not putting all of this on
Not
Maroney
my personal
here.
cup of
She
tea.
didn't write this song, but she nails that tired exasperation after being dumped and her ex calling her back supposedly supposedly having gotten his life together and asking for her back, where she blows him off with a really pithy "what doesn't kill you calls you 6 months later." The patter of this song is really quite tight. I appreciate the songwriting. Shame the production isn't. If only the drums and hand claps being a bit too loud was the only thing. But both the guitar tone and synth just sound wrong to me. The former really creaking and nasal, the latter way too flat and oily. I like that the overall song sounds warmer and jaunty and the pedal steel is pleasant, though when you add the backing vocals to this cluttered mix with so many tones with more textures that don't complement each other, Megan Moroney sounds like she's fighting to get through and she's losing. Maybe there's a live mix of this that could be more tolerable, but yeah, I really don't want to do it. I'm gonna call it a miss.
Damn.
Gonna say. And finally, number 10, Outside by Cardi B.
Playing games, they doing time out. Why don't let me remind niggas?
And now the big one, because Cardi is back with the big summer
I think if Glorilla did this, I'd probably like it more.
single, long overdue to make the proper push for a sophomore album that should have dropped at least 4 years ago. And yes, I'm still on about that. Atlantic has fumbled the momentum way too many times. And given that this song is very clearly framed to be both a sign that she is outside and back and on the prowl, as well as a giant middle finger at Offset for serial cheating, this is the sort of hungry energy I want to hear, especially with that sinuous bass pulse around the marimba against the touches of horns and the trap percussion. And yet something isn't quite clicking as sharply as I would want. It's good, but it should be better. Some of that might be the vocal mixing for Cardi, where it sounds more compressed and thin than usual, and that takes away some of that broad energy and flair. But she also sounds a bit checked out on this track compared to some of her loudest moments in the past, and that takes away some of her unique personality, especially when I can tell her flow is borrowing a bit from other women working today. I hear a little bit of Glorilla and parts of her cadence.
Yeah.
It got distracting for me. And from there, look,
So
I
I
don't
said
know.
Glorilla
Cardi used to
maybe
have
would've been
so
better.
many immediate quotables that could be silly or so outrageous.
Right, I
that
don't know. I feel like before 2021, maybe 2020, like before 2022, I feel like Cardi B felt more unique than she is now. Cause I mean now like she's just another like female rapper doing the shaking my ass, I mean, not to be that guy, like, oh yeah, that's all female rappers do is shake their ass and talk about their coochie. But like, I'm sorry, but like, I don't need more songs about being outside and being, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know, no, that's not the problem, okay? I'm fine with the songs being outside. At least make them good, make them interesting. Like, that's what Cardi B did. She was interesting. But like, now, like Up, WAP, that was interesting. Like, those had good melodies, but now, like, it's just kind of like same shit that Sexy Red's doing, and well, she's doing it way better than Sexy Red. But like, same thing Glorilla's doing, same thing everybody else is doing, and it's just kind of so like it's just the same shit. It's nothing new. I don't know, and it's very forgettable. That's the thing about it. It's forgettable, Like I would never listen to WAP or Up on my own, but like those songs were very like unique, like they had their style, they were similar to other songs, right? But there were still some parts about those songs that I could remember, you know what I'm saying? But like a lot of the new Cardi B stuff is just, it's just so, maybe she needs to do another pop hit, like do another I Like It, Cardi, like something, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of hearing all these songs about shaking ass, you know what I'm saying? Like I know the girls need it, but like they got Glorilla, they got Sexy Red, they can keep that stuff, And then Glorilla makes poppin' ass songs interesting and memorable, but when Cardi B does it, I'm sorry, nowadays when Cardi B does it, it's just so You
had to pay attention.
It's just so
but outside
nothing.
of her flagrant bisexuality, props for that, and some very obvious name drops as she chases athletes.
Like, I just
and
don't
flexes
care,
her sexual prowess. It's missing more of an edge to really stick longer. Granted, when you make WAP, that anything less in this lane is going to feel like a come down, and I still think it is good enough to work. But I don't know. I think she's out of chances to make this rollout stick. We're gonna have to see. Anyway, that's our week. Kind of all over the place, but
Like experiment, do something weird, you know? Like you're doing your second album, you're doing another album in like how long has it been, 8 years or something, and we're doing like the same shit everybody else is doing. A lot of other female rappers are doing at the moment. That's just kind of boring to me.
it winds up positive overall, whereas Bodies
I know it's
by
not for
Offset
me,
Jid
100%
easily
it's not for
snags
me.
the best.
But,
I'm
like,
actually giving it a tie for honorable mention. Outside by Cardi B.
You can make the case that Glorilla like isn't for guys and fucking Glorilla isn't for guys, but like I like a lot of her songs. I think, you know, like she falls into a formula, but she makes it like hers. You know what I'm saying? But when Cardi B does, it's just, you know.
And your idol from K-pop Demon Hunters. I'm probably as surprised as you are by the latter one. Worst of the week, yeah, I'm giving it to Gabriella by Cat's Eye for annoying me the most. But Bottle Rockets by Scotty McCreery and Hootie and the Blowfish is getting the dishonorable mention for being one of the most pointless songs I've heard in recent memory. Next week, you know, I'd say Lorde would have a shot for some album impact, but I'll believe that when I see it. I thought that was true with Melodrama years ago. We're probably just going to get more K-pop Demon Hunters the way things are going. But until then, I'm Mark. You're watching Billboard Breakdown, affiliated with Spectrum Pulse.
Alright guys, what do you think of new rappers? Did you like them? Did you hate them? What would you rate them? Go subscribe to Billboard Breakdown, subscribe to Spectrum Pulse, subscribe to me. Goodbye.